conditions, bewildering, frustrating, enchanting in multiple ways. I told you we were a young country. 1947 we got our independence, and we got our independence at a time we were both a witness to the socialist revolution, which was, post-World War had taken over so many parts of Europe, which enchanted intellectuals at that time. We were also a forerunner because we were among the earliest, possibly the earliest country, barring USA, to have come out of the colonial shackles. And we in fact led the way for many other countries in Asia and Africa to come out of the colonial shackles, and we did this in a uniquely Indian way, which was we did not use violence. We did not, this is why we differ from the USA. We did not fight, we fought for our freedom, but we did it with non-violence. And I expect you are familiar with Mahatma Gandhi and his philosophy of ahimsa and satyagraha, and that is how we got our independence. And that was, that ethos of self-reliance, swadeshi, that is looking towards oneself and improving oneself, that continued in the first decades of post-independence. Among the earliest changes that we tried in our political economy was the introduction of the Panchayati Raj legislation. Funnily enough, this coincides with my own entry in 1987. What was the Panchayati Raj legislation? This was basically devolution of power to local bodies. Okay, democratic decentralization is what we called it. Before this, we had two major levels of government: the central government, the union government at the apex, located in Delhi as the capital of India, and the state government. So the subnational state government. So what you can equate, Karnataka is one, Tamil Nadu is another, UP. So we have multiple states, and these were the two major levels of government, the national and the subnational. There was for very long, both because of a tradition of local governance which had been in India for centuries, and because of the growing democratic aspirations of people at the sub-state level. There was an aspiration for democratic decentralization, giving powers and finances to local bodies. So this is what we did by introducing the Panchayati Raj legislation. In Karnataka, Karnataka, where you are sitting right now, was the forerunner. We introduced Panchayati Raj legislation in 1987. Other states followed suit when the constitutional amendments, 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments, spread this across India. So now you have democratic decentralization all across the country in both the rural and the urban areas. Okay. Which means you have elected bodies at the sub-state level. States are broadly what you call provinces elsewhere in the world. So these are, so at the sub-state level, we introduced this, and this itself we have three tiers. We have the district, so we have what is called the Zilla Panchayat. Zilla translates to district, so we have the Zilla Panchayat at the district level. We have the Taluka Panchayat, which is a lower tier below that, and then we have the village panchayats, so the Gram Panchayats. Gram translates into village. All these are elected bodies. So we have, in effect, 5 tiers of elected governments at different levels in the country. So this was the first major change. It was not cosmetic. Very real powers were devolved to the local bodies, both in the urban and in the rural areas, and finances were devolved so that they could exercise their powers. So almost all the development departments, so-called, when I say development, I mean non-regulatory, right? So police is a regulatory department. Right? Labor, for instance, is a partly a regulatory department, but all welfare departments, which in India we call development departments. So let us take health, primary education, women's development, child care, all those welfare schemes were devolved to the local bodies. So the entire regulatory mechanism was isolated, separated, and the non-regulatory was all devolved to the local bodies, which they continue to exercise till today. And they were both given the funds in the beginning. They were also enabled to collect taxes so that they could fund those welfare schemes, besides what they are getting from the upper tiers of government. And you have today in Bangalore, the district panchayats, even gram panchayats, which are more prosperous than many state governments. For example, you would have come through the Bangalore International Airport. Bangalore International Airport is located in Devanahalli, and Devanahalli is one of the richest gram panchayats. It's a very small unit. Devanahalli is a very small town, right? But it is an extremely prosperous because they collect so much in property taxes. And if you move around in that area, you will find vast housing and other developments, all of which pay property tax to the gram panchayat, and that is how it became a very rich gram panchayat. So this was a very real change.